I just realized that this whole I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe thing isn't just an internet meme but a song. What is one of your I must be living under a rock moments? I completely missed the entire lifespan of the Macarena due to USMC basic training. I came back and asked what I had missed when I was gone, and people replied with not much. I found out about it later. You're implying it's dead, though. Before I knew what Reddit was, I found the meme called Redditor's wife. It really puzzled me, so for a long time I just assumed the guy's name was Redditor. I believed chinchillas were a mythical creature, like the chupacabra, until I was 15 and I saw one at a local pet store. I thought FFS meant someone was so off mad they couldn't form a coherent thought, so they just made a FSSSSSS sound out of anger. I only recently learned it was an acronym. About 2 years ago, maybe a little more, I saw an article of Cosmo which had as an article "A cougar stole my man." I was expecting a story about a woman and her man who went camping and perhaps he was taken off and eaten by wild cats. I was mistaken. In your defense, that would have been a way cooler story. Back when it was a thing, I knew who Joseph Kony was from reports on BBC, but I thought Kony 2012 was a joke on how bad our presidential candidates were. It sounded like Romney 2012 or something along those lines. I used to think Kony was a person running for president because I saw Kony 2012 posters. I truly believed narwhals were some sort of fictional creature, up until a few months ago. I was watching something on Discovery Channel a few months back, and they were showing some new show about oceans and crap. Then I saw the narwhal. They are real. My 9-year-old brother just stared at me when I said that. I recently realized that in that 70s show, they are smoking when they are in the basement and the camera is panning in a circle. And fez is derived from F4Ne's Change S student. The songs on Flashback 95.6 and GTA III are real, then I later learned that they were from the movie Scarface. Flashback FM, where every night's a dance party, push it to the limit. I thought Kim Kardashian was a character on Star Trek until about 3 or 4 months ago. I kept hearing the name and was like, why the frick is a Star Trek character so popular? I see people I don't recognize on magazine covers all the time and I don't ever watch TV, so I never put 2 and 2 together. For the 10 people who don't know, the Kardashians are a race on Star Trek, mostly TNG and DS9, probably the source of the confusion. I only noticed this last summer, when I rewatched TNG. It was sad to feel my trash culture senses perk up every time the Kardashians were mentioned. That didn't happen back in the 90s. I actually thought Jersey Shore was a joke until about a year ago. Same here. I saw an episode and couldn't believe what I was seeing. That Patrick Star from SpongeBob is stupid because he lives under a rock. I know someone who thought Patrick Star was a tongue for the longest time. When I was in middle school and the thong song had come out, everyone was talking about Cisco. Me having no idea who that was, thought they meant Cisco the business. So, I asked them if their parents were investing in it too. This is way beyond first world problems. Whenever Bottles said this has not been tested on animals, I thought it was informing you that it wasn't responsible if you shampooed your dog and it fell over dead or something. I realized it was about ethics and animal testing one day in the shower when I was older than I like to admit. When I was in 4th grade, I overheard a bunch of my friends talking about this awesome new computer thing called iTunes. I imagined, wow, what a cool new game. It clearly must incorporate the fantastic world of the internet and fun cartoon characters. This will be the new Neopets. I then thought to myself, well, I should just wait until one of my friends invites me to join them on their fun-filled iTunes journey through cyberspace. No one invited me. I found out 2 years later that it was actually iTunes. About 5 years ago, I realized the D in the Disney logo was actually a D. I always thought it sort of looked like a weird backwards G. I also used to think that limes were just immature lemons, good old Walt Disney Company. I didn't know what FTFY was. I always thought it was for the fricking year. I have no idea why I thought that. Frick that. Frick you. That's what I thought it was. Until I was about 11 years old, I didn't believe in Americans. I thought that American was just the voice that you put on when you singing or acting. I absolutely loved the Beatles, and I knew that in interviews they talked normal, but when they sang they put on an American accent. I'd only ever seen or heard Americans on TV or radio, so naturally I assumed that they were just putting on that silly voice for the screen, and off screen they all talked normally, the Queen's English like everyone else. I had some heated arguments with friends. There was one kid who insisted his parents had actually taken him to America and everyone actually talked like that all the time, and I just refused to believe him. I tried telling him that his parents had actually taken him to one of those reenactment places, like where everyone is in character as a medieval knight or something, except here everyone pretended they were Americans. And he was really stupid for believing they were actually real. Eventually I came to see I was wrong, though it took a while. Note, I live in the Midwest of the US. When I was around 5 or 6, I was watching some music show on TV on my own and they played Born in the USA and had kids dancing to it, etc. I thought those kids were so cool, and after the song was over I ran in the kitchen and told my mom that I wish I was born in the USA. It's so cool there, I used to think that the Baja Men's Who Let the Dogs Out was made exclusively for the Cleveland Browns. I thought I liked a move it was exclusive to Madagascar up until this morning. I had to Google what the acronym SMH meant. SMH. Honestly, the only reason I know anything about current events politics is because of the Weekend Update on SNL. When summer comes, I'm hopeless. It's a bit foggy, but I think when I started college, 2009/10, I was cut off from TV and I wasn't aware of popular websites yet, such as 4chan, Reddit, or even 9gag. So when I came home during the summer I was confused about who the Justin Bieber lad was. I asked my younger sister who he was and she told me to shut up. I think it took a month for me to realize his last name wasn't pronounced as Beaver. I was wrapping up my summer job by staining a few decks. I was going to meet another one of the guys from our crew at the first place. As I drove by myself, it's about 20 minutes to the first house in the crappy company van. I'm jamming to some tunes. Just before I get there the radio cut out as it tended to do. Unfortunately I didn't have a radio and no one was home, so I just finished the job in silence. I packed up and I was pretty peeved that my crew member didn't show up. I figured I'd stop at a convenience store to give him a call. When I pulled into the store parking lot, there were a lot of people just standing around their cars with the windows open listening to the radio. I didn't really pay attention. Figured it was a sporting event or something. I head into the store and grab some snacks and glanced at a magazine or two. Eventually I find the payphone. I dialed my crew member and it rang for a long while. Finally he picks up. As soon as he says hello, I start laying into him about being late, irresponsible, etc. There was a long silence. Then he says, "Dude, 2 planes just hit the World Trade Center buildings." Okay, then maybe you guys can help me with a much older one. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was dating this girl, back in the MySpace era, and she posted on my wall some picture of text saying there's this guy, he kinda has my heart, and she posted it all over her profile too. At first I thought it was her own words, then I started seeing that crap all over the internet. So what the heck was it? Just a popular phrase? A movie quote? A song lyric? I googled the crap out of it and could never find an answer. There was a serial organ burglar on the loose, and he specialized in hearts. I only realized today that totaled meant the damage exceeded the worth of the car. Reddit is still the only place I've ever heard YOLO. From what I've gathered, YOLO came from a song by some guy named The Drake. I've never heard any of his songs. The Drake. I literally spit on my tablet and laughed thanks to his new and formal sounding title. Thank you very much. When I was 13 and my girlfriend instant messaged me the word wannabe, I thought she was making fun of me and I got really defensive. I didn't know she was referencing a Spice Girls song. I didn't know about Reddit, 4chan, memes, or any other significant elements of internet culture until little over a year ago. New fag. I was a freshman in college and I was walking from my bathroom to my suite. completely hungover and disgusting. In front of my suite door was standing a family of 3, young mother, father, and baby. Apparently, the father had lived in that suite his freshman year and wanted to show it to his wife. So I let them in, made small talk, introduced them to my suitemate, and showed them around. I went about my day. Later I found out that the couple had actually been Jessica Alba and her husband Cash Warren. No freaking clue, did not recognize them at all. New political posts on social networks. I used to keep up with stuff because of school, but then I realized I don't want to have a stress-related heart attack before I turn 30. Why does it feel like everyone is bragging in this topic? Oh, you liked that before it was popular? Well, I didn't even know about it until last week. I was studying abroad in Finland in January 2010 and in June I met one of my friend in Amsterdam. I learned most of the songs that were playing all this time at bars were sung by a 15-year-old boy. Oh boy. My friend and I were in his car, and he had his heavy metal blaring. A song came on, and he said, "Oh, you'll like this one." I didn't enjoy it as much as he'd anticipated. He said, "That was a cover of that Katy Perry song." I'd never heard the song. Fireworks, I think, but about 10 minutes later, while I was in the mall, it came on. Then I got it. I only found out the other day that Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana are 2 different people. And today you learn that you were right before. They are the same person. You have been visited by the romantic doggo. Comment, love is magic so you never fall in the friend zone. Plus thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.